Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, April 9, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tomorrow night around 9 p.m., give or take. We're going to address a lot of the untruths in this present time and the now. And as you can look and see, the solar eclipse was just a solar eclipse. But there's always something you learn from it doesn't matter what it is, we're always learning. And so we look at this as another attempt by the lower dark matter frequencies to seduce the civilization into a fear mode, panic fear. And that would affect the ego mind. See, most of the people are in ego mind, and most of the people are in a bicameral mode. So it's pretty understandable that a lot of people gravitate worried, stressed, and feared for pretty much absolutely nothing. The danger is that whatever they were focused on and obsessing on up until the eclipse is what they were creating. And we have the power, each and every one of us, the gods that we are in these bodies, create any life we want. Period. Doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter what you've done. Nothing. All that matters is what you focus on, and not through the head, not through the ego mind, but through the heart mind. See, we really need nothing because we're equipped with everything, and then some. We just haven't rediscovered those avenues, those areas. And when we talk about emotion, right? Motion. Energy in motion. I talk about the fact that when we are creating, which is 24/7, manifesting, different words say the same thing. But we take energy, we move it into form, we create it into reality, and we experience it. Our entire lives are created from our emotional state. This is the powerful energy that creates our reality. Everything that shows up in our outer world is a direct match with our emotional belief systems. Melanie Tonya Evans. Our feelings, the feelings that we have while we're in these bodies, are the energetic superfuel from which every physical manifestation in our lives was created. Every person, situation, and thing that we wanted or didn't want to manifest into our lives happened because there was a strong positive or negative feeling behind some thought that we had. We know that nothing, absolutely nothing is coincidence or by chance in this world. We are vibrational beings, molding our world based on the ideas and emotions we unconsciously entertain. And by being more open and sensitive to our feelings, we will naturally discover the very source of all feeling, where we can truly master our emotions and effortlessly attract our greatest dream. And see, we need, it's intricately connected. We need feelings to manifest our dreams. What would be the point of winning, a lotto jackpot if we didn't feel elated? Emotions are what make life a rich and juicy ride. And without them, we might as well be a sand bug buried in the Sahara Desert. Our feelings are what allow us to tap into the divine experiences within our soul, as well as the small, limited, humble sensations that make us human. Without tapping into our emotional nature, we cannot connect with love, be loved by, and have compassion for people around us. So if you want to live a rich, full life, it is time for you to remove all your judgments and fears about your feelings and let go of whatever beliefs that have been restricting you from being wildly alive. People who are deeply in touch with their feelings hold a special gift for creating amazing relationships, as well as the greatest secret to remaining aligned with their highest manifesting vibration. These beings have the ability to truly dive into any feeling, welcome it completely, and then let that feeling grow and surge within their body. By dwelling on the feeling of what it's like to have already manifested your desired outcome, you are communicating a request to this universe, stating that you actually want this experience to manifest. And sure, you can visualize your dream car is going to magically materialize until you are blue in the face, which a lot of people do. Yet, you have little chances in manifesting it with effortless ease until you can feel yourself sitting in that car with your hands gripping the wheel, cruising down the road while blasting your favorite song with the breeze blowing through your hair. See, there's the twist that a lot of us we fall victim to. We think, we do it from the head, the ego mind, and it gets us nowhere. And then it confuses us. Well, I saw it, and I visualized it, but you did it with your ego mind, not your heart mind. Let's take this emotional journey for all of us to a more personal level. Imagine that your physical body is the car you'll be driving throughout your life. Right? Your physical body is the car you'll be driving throughout your life. One of its jobs is to deliver you safely and joyously to each destination that you desire. The feelings that you create about where you are headed in your life are fueling this manifesting vehicle, giving it the juice to move you forward. Without your feelings, all you have is a parked car stuck in the garage gathering dust. If you'd want to drive your car to the land of nirvana in the highest possible gear and speed, you simply do one thing. Open yourself up to being a more alive, sensitive, emotional being. And from this space, you can access the most powerful experiences in the universe of feeling loved, grateful, excited, centered, peaceful, and confident about who you truly are. So you may be wondering, can a person be in tune with all their feelings that arise throughout the day, while still remaining focused on the joy, gratitude, and excitement of manifesting their dream? The discovery here is to allow yourself to feel each feeling you have in the moment so fully, deeply, and completely that you can truly digest it and let it go. The more intimate you can become with your emotional body, the easier it is to process through any challenging experience that bubbles up. When you cannot let go of a certain feeling, you'll notice that it tends to attract similar situations in people. The key is in the art of allowing and knowing that everything is transient in this life. This feeling too shall soon pass, so why not explore it fully? A lot of times we just kind of zooms by. We hardly, if we do notice, it's very slim. The main reason why emotions on this planet have become such a challenge for people is that they were trained not to deal with them, not to face them, not to embrace them. As a member of this modern society, I want to call it that, you were mostly likely conditioned to remain up in the control tower of the head and suppress your feelings below. You may feel uncomfortable with any public display of emotion and think you should always remain poised and in control. From the time you were young, you may have internalized messages from your parents such as stop crying or stop being angry. Over time, you may have learned to automatically stifle your feelings and become like a robot that does the right thing and is impervious to any wild feeling that comes your way. As a child, you were like a great genie who could manifest any experience you wanted. With the awesome power of imagination, you were totally free to invent whatever experience you desired. When you decided to imagine having a tea party with the King, Queen of England, you were truly there in your mind and perhaps had personal conversations with them. Your imagination was your entire world for many, many, many years. Then, as you grew larger, tested your boundaries, your behavior may not have been agreeable with society's standards. So you were shoved into an emotional bottle. After years of being contained by parents, limiting beliefs, and tight social standards, your true magical powers were bound under double-plated glass. This way, you would be accepted by the crowd, become like the rest of the flock, and never engage in the experience of being wild, free, and the complete master of your world. The discovery to freeing yourself from any childhood prison you still might be trapped in today is in befriending your emotions. This means you're giving yourself total permission to feel anything and everything that shows up, especially from your childhood. The greatest paradox about this secret or discovery is that when you can allow yourself to feel an outrageous sense of failure, then you can also access the feelings of unstoppable success. Once you feel one side of the spectrum and relax into it, the emotional pendulum will naturally swing to the other end on its own accord. It may feel scary to let yourself feel these things that are dark, depressing, angry, or sad inside you. Yet, when you're free to experience these heavier emotions, you also liberate yourself to engage in the lighter feeling, such as total joy, outrageous bliss, and absolute freedom. The greatest truth of all is that we cannot completely control our feelings, nor would we ever want to. When we try to keep certain emotions buried underground, they will eventually find their way out to be expressed. I believe we've all experienced that. That's why people who repress years of guilt, self-blame, and anger end up contracted diseases. They contract the diseases like cancer. The body has to release these energies in some way if they are not going to be expressed emotionally. Make the commitment now to letting yourself be an emotional human being. Give your body permission to feel whatever it's feeling, and you'll soon discover there's a whole new world that exists inside you. And you might, you put up, remind yourself, okay, to being a more emotional human being. Put it down in your own words however you want. Paste these words on your bathroom mirror so that you can see them and be proud of them. If you're embarrassed to have them up, this simply becomes your opportunity to honor this feeling and dive deeper into it and through it. This emotional affirmation will help you fully accept yourself as you are and embrace every feeling that you have. And do whatever you can to make yourself start feeling your feelings more. Listen to music that moves you. Watch a romantic, tear-jerking movie, or just talk to a friend about where you're truly at in your love life. The goal here is to open up and feel all of this life. Feel your feelings as much and as often as possible, and continually open up to whatever feeling is there in every situation without judging yourself in the process. If perhaps you feel that you are already too emotional and that your emotions run your life, then great. You've opened the emotional floodgates and have graduated past the first level. Now your job is to feel the deeper peaceful feelings buried beneath your typical over-dramatic emotional feelings. You will only find these by feeling your feelings all the way down to the very core of your being. The feeling of peace is always here, always has been, always will be, forever, beyond, and forever. When you have discovered how to access this feeling within whatever situation that arises, then you will have truly mastered your emotions and your life. See, we've become, for the greater part of this civilization, we have become desensitized. You feel it? We have become desensitized. Look around you without judgment. We learn from this. And what are we learning? When one becomes desensitized, it's like you're a ship in a bottle. Okay? It's this beautiful multi-sails ship. You've seen them in a bottle, right? But they aren't going anywhere. They're compressed tight within a small space. Wind can't hit their sails. Water can't help them move. So we become compressed, pressured, balled up. And you know what? You may not even know it. You may think, I'm footloose, fancy free. How can all of these dis-eases be such a huge mountain to climb for this civilization? See, we don't know, as a whole, that we have the power to heal every part of this body that we're in. Everything. Whatever it may be. Now, you understand that we've had such a conditioning and programming process for generations, for thousands, millions, billions of years, lifetimes, that we've been convinced, like a lot of things, that you can't do that. That is just crap. You can't do that. You can't heal yourself. That's why we have doctors and all these other beings that do that for us. It's like you get in the habit of having something done for you when you could have done it so much simpler yourself. What happens when a civilization becomes desensitized in everyday activities? What's one of the primers to that? Well, I believe we all know that it's the electronic world that we're so mesmerized by. Or, if you will, the word artificial intelligence. all the stuff. I'm not saying we all use it. It seems to allow us to move smoother, right? Now, we all have a personal relationship with ourselves. Now, we decide, some of us eventually decide, to take our personal relationship to a more intimate, heart-connecting level by healing any wounds we may be carrying from our past. Healing any wounds. Can't do that superficially. And to do this, you spend at least 15 minutes every morning, and I get letters from people saying that, all this stuff you want me to do, I'd never have anything else to do. Well, you pick what frequency that you can apply to help you with whatever you may be faced with. So this one, you spend at least 15 minutes every morning focusing your attention on your heart. Notice if your heart is guarded in any way, shape, or form. Most likely, there has been someone from your past who treated you poorly and you had to shield yourself from. Now, this being may appear to you or not. The goal is to let go of protecting yourself from emotionally being hurt again. When you can find someone who has hurt you, imagine this being is in front of you and speak to them directly, communicating out loud whatever hurt feelings you are still holding inside. After you are 100% emptied out, listen to their response. Find some way to forgive them, send them love, and ask for their forgiveness. Deeply, eternally love this being and bring your focus to the armor that was around your heart and tell your shields, thank you for protecting me. I no longer need you. Goodbye. Gently remove your shielding by imagining that you are throwing them into the universal recycle bin. Watch them be destroyed. Notice how you feel being free from this heavy armor. This may be scary for you at first, for it is if you are a newborn naked baby in a wild, thorny world. Be very, very, very gentle with yourself, as you will need to practice being lighter and more emotionally available. Take your time to establish a sense of being comfortable with your vulnerable, open heart, and bring this quality into your current day relationships. Every day that you do this amazing exercise, you'll be able to dive deeper into the core of your heart and feel the lightness of your being. This may be the greatest motivating factor to doing this motion in the first place. The sensation of connecting with your innermost being is absolutely awesome. And the divine radiance within you will shine brightly into every experience you have. And this radiance also contains the power to manifest anything that you desire. The more layers of protection you can remove, the more depth, sensitivity, and beauty of this life you'll experience in the most ordinary circumstances. It's good to know that you don't need to protect that which is real and eternal. The soul that you are is real, and the ego is simply its unreal shadow. When you believe you need to protect yourself from others to feel safe in this world, you are merely attracting situations where you'll feel a need to use this false protection. Once you have fully removed the armor around your heart, you'll see there never was anything to protect. Those shields were only limiting you from feeling all your feelings. By letting them go, you'll be forced to move forward in your relationships where you'll truly evolve as a spiritual being and can start manifesting the life your heart has only dreamed of. Everything that we are presented with, everything, comes from us. Now, obviously, the majority of us are not aware of this. But believe it or not, even the stuff that you think came out of nowhere or, just blows your mind, where did this come from? I know it didn't come from me. In actuality, that's exactly where it came from. Unconsciously, that's where those come from. That's where those surprises, let's say, come from. They come from us unconsciously as we create them and attract them and manifest them unconsciously. What do our dreams do? They remind us of what we truly fear that we're unconsciously aware that we fear. Okay? Quite interesting, isn't it? All of us. It's not like we're exempt from it. It's not like there's a handful of people over here exempt from all that. Nope. We all are exposed to that. And it just depends on what we know, what we've learned, what we've experienced about ourselves. It's just you can see, really, and you'll see in this quiet time of this meditation that you feel, what is it? What is it that stops you from being you? What is it that stops you from deeply and eternally loving you 24 hours a day? See, these are things that we choose. No one makes you. You choose to reach inside you. Yeah, we can look at all this other stuff outside of us, and obviously we're influenced by some of it, and we're seduced by other parts of it, and we get carried away with our ego minds, but that's the material physical. And many of us, we get so carried off that all of a sudden that life is done. Did we ever really get to know ourselves? Not really. Not really. Maybe a couple of times we did. Ask yourself this question. Do you like being with you? Do you enjoy being with you? Do you love being with you? Oftentimes we're, through the ego mind, we're pulled off because we feel that we need someone in our lives, right? Which is nothing wrong with that. But we haven't fell in love with ourselves. How can we fall in love with anybody else, truly, truly so, if we haven't done so with ourselves? We put the cart before the horse many times. Still not a negative. It's to discover these things. And of course, it's like, okay, so you're like this open vessel, all of us, as babies. And, it's like you have all these beings around us telling us this, what's this, doing this, and that. And then as the body grows, more of it, more of it, more of it. That's how we're programmed. And as we're really young, we take it all in with our eyes. See, we watch. And we mimic. We copy. A young boy could be standing there watching his father shave. He doesn't know that, that the body has to be a certain age for it to have hair shaved, so the boy wants to copy that. And, shave. So you give them a fake shaver, and they think it's cool because they're going through the motions that a big being is doing. But you probably noticed that when you were a child, you copied others, their movements, what they did. And, the old saying, little pictures have big ears. And you listened to a lot of things. And it registered. All this data you were assimilating and storing, comparing, and you didn't have anything to compare it with to begin with, so you just stored it in the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind would, on occasion, play it back. So, it's knowing this, discovering it for ourselves, and then saying, you know what? I'm going to look at my heart and see how much armor I've built up around it. I want to know if I'm afraid of myself. I want to know if I'm afraid of love. And do I know what really love is? Do I love myself? It's all emotions. And while we're in these bodies, boy, do we get a lot of them. A lot, all kinds. Because these bodies are emotional, highly emotional. How else as gods do we learn but in the material physical world in a body? Some people get so excited and enthusiastic that they start crying. But they're not crying because they're sad. They're crying because they're so happy. Ask yourself in the quiet time of this meditation, when was the last time you felt deeply loved by you? And if you're unable to discover this, then ask yourself why. Focus on the breath, rising and falling. Be in a very comfortable position. Relax into your body. Be as still as a statue. And ask this of yourself. And be very gentle with yourself. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath. In through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. What kind of world do you want to live in? You have the power to create that ideal world that you have always dreamed of. And each moment, you can choose to embrace love over fear, empowerment over victimhood, and compassion over criticism. It is really that simple. We can already feel the beauty of the world you are creating. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, April 10, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And around 9 or so p.m. Eastern to continue our time for change call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening outside of you or inside of you.